Hey everyone. So let's talk about something that feels like it's been pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie, but is actually reshaping our world right now. Generative AI. You've probably seen it everywhere, right? It's making art, it's writing code. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it is, how it really works, and where this whole thing is headed.
But let's start with the biggest question of all, the one that kind of underpins everything. Can a machine really be creative? I mean, can it actually make something totally new, something genuinely original? Just keep that question in the back of your mind, because the answer is at the very heart of what we're diving into today.
All right, so first things first, let's build a solid foundation here. What exactly is generative AI? Well, when you boil it all down, it's about one thing: creation. And the key words here are new and original content. See, this isn't just about crunching numbers or analyzing data that's already there. Generative AI uses a technique called deep learning. Think of it like learning from a massive library of information, kind of like a human would. And then it mimics our own thinking to produce brand new stuff: poems, pictures, you name it, all from a simple command you give it. So what's the engine driving all this incredible power? Well, if you pull back the curtain, you'll find what I like to call the brainy wizards of this technology: large language models, or LLMs for short. An LLM is just this massive AI system that's been trained on an unbelievable amount of text and data. The brainy wizard thing really fits because they use these super complex systems called neural networks, which are basically like a digital brain, to not just see the patterns in human language, but to actually understand the context and all the little details. And the way they learn is pretty fascinating. First, you feed the model a gigantic dataset. I mean, imagine it reading a huge portion of the entire internet. Then, and this is the important part, it goes beyond just memorizing. It starts to learn the deep underlying connections and rules within all that data. And finally, it uses that deep knowledge to generate something completely new that still fits the style and the structure of what it learned. Okay, so that's the theory. But where is the stuff actually showing up in the real world? Let's do a quick fire round of some of the most exciting places this is being used, from writing software to fighting cybercrime. And honestly, the impact is just incredibly broad. We're seeing it in creative fields, cranking out 3D models and video content. It's totally changing how software gets made. And it's making huge waves in really critical areas, like cybersecurity, healthcare, and finance. Let's zoom in on a couple of those. So let's start in a field where you always have to be one step ahead: cybersecurity. This is a total game changer. Instead of just reacting to threats, companies can now use AI as a sparring partner. It creates these super realistic but fake cyber attacks so that security teams can practice and get better in a completely safe, controlled sandbox. Think of it like a flight simulator, but for cyber defense. It's pretty cool. Now, let's switch gears to a field that, well, affects every single one of us: healthcare. The potential here is just staggering. Can you imagine discovering new drugs in a fraction of the time because an AI can analyze biological data faster than any human ever could? It's also making medical scans better, helping doctors spot diseases way earlier. And it's even helping us get to personalized medicine where treatments can be designed specifically for your own body. And what about protecting our money? Let's talk about finance. Okay, this is where it gets really clever. To teach an AI to spot fraud, you need a ton of examples of what fraud looks like. So what does generative AI do? It just makes them up. It creates endless streams of highly realistic but totally fake fraudulent transactions. This gives the fraud detection AI this massive library to learn from, which makes it incredibly good at catching the real criminals. You know, with all these modern uses, it's easy to think generative AI just appeared out of nowhere a year or two ago. But the truth is, the core ideas have a surprisingly long history. Let's take a quick look back at how we got here. The journey actually started way back in the 1960s with the very first chatbots. But the real explosion, the thing that changed everything, happened much more recently. In 2014, a technology called Generative Adversarial Networks, or GANs, was introduced. And the idea is brilliant. You pit two AIs against each other. One, the generator, tries to create fake content, while the other, the discriminator, tries to spot the fake. This constant competition just dramatically sped up our ability to create those hyper-realistic images and videos we see today. So here we are. We have this technology that is just unbelievably powerful, and it holds so much promise. But like any big innovation, it also comes with some serious challenges. We have to look at the road ahead. We're really looking at two sides of the same coin here. On one hand, you've got this incredible promise: new kinds of art, faster scientific breakthroughs, better security. But on the flip side, we have some serious things to figure out. Like, the data these systems learn from can have biases baked right in. There are huge questions about privacy. And, of course, the potential for this powerful tech to be used for bad stuff. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We have to find a balance. The goal isn't to stop progress, but to make sure we're steering it in a responsible way. That means we have to be really thoughtful about the impacts and come up with some smart rules to make sure this technology ends up benefiting everyone. And that leaves us with the final and maybe the most important question of all. As we keep building these incredibly powerful tools, how do we make sure we're doing it in a way that is fair, that is safe, and that's good for all of us? That's the challenge ahead for everyone. Something to think about.